Both teams looking for a win here. Kentucky looking for their first SEC win. Florida, their first SEC home win of the season, as Florida in their white jerseys have the first possession of the game. And Holly, these two teams a lot alike as they battle and look for these important wins in early conference play.
Yeah, both teams really preach defense. They live and die from the defensive end, and they want to turn those steals into layups, Brenda. So it'll be a highly intense game today, especially on the defensive end.
Faith Dute scores first for Florida as Kentucky has their first possession. Robyn Benton, the leading scorer on the year. She got into foul trouble early in their game against South Carolina, but this Kentucky team really battled against South Carolina. They were within 4 late in the game, and then South Carolina really pulled it out in the fourth quarter. As we take a look at the Kentucky lineup, Benton, the leading scorer. Jada Walker, one of the tops in the conference in steals per game. Maddie Shear, back-to-back games where she's set a career high. Blair Green and Naya Leveretter round out the starting lineup.
And you'll see Maddie Shear, she's really coming into her own game, really settling in with scoring, does a lot more things. Great assist, great passer, but Kentucky needs her to step up and score today.
And there she is, Maddie Shear, making the basket here. Alongside Holly Warlick, I'm Brenda Van Lingen. Here's the starting lineup for Florida. Rimdahl, KK Deans is the leading scorer. And there inside, you see the work of Shea Kyle, the transfer from Purdue. So the two interior players getting the first scores for Florida. It bounced on the inline. It will stay on this end for Kentucky. There's Kelly Ray Finley, the SEC Coach of the Year last year, having a remarkable year as an interim head coach, led Florida to a 10-6 record, tied for 4th place. And that one well off the mark for Kentucky's Blair Green. Kentucky going to come out in their full court pressure, and Holly, Kentucky leads the SEC in turnovers forced per game.
And they do it with great ball pressure, and then they get up in the passing lanes. They're going to try to make you go back door, and they're going to get their hands on a lot of balls, and that may not turn into a turnover, but it puts a little doubt into the offense, and Kentucky really hangs their hat on the defensive end.
Florida's only win in SEC play was on the road against Texas A&M. They've lost their last 2 in a row to Georgia, to Arkansas and Georgia, but they have gone inside for their first 3 baskets of the game. There's Kyle again.
Yeah, great start, Brenda, for Florida, going inside, taking high percentage shots in the paint.
Blair Green over Dute, no, and Kyle there to clean it up. KK Deans, the transfer from West Virginia. She's the leading scorer on the year for this Florida squad. Rimdahl has been shooting well as of late, but misses that one. And a nice dish off, and Kentucky has 4 on the board.
Exactly what Kentucky wants to do. They get a long rebound. They're not trying to find a guard. Bring it up. Any guard brings it up. Attack in transition, and they get an easy layup.
Subs into the game, and that's a welcome sight for Florida fans. Leilani Correa is back for the first time since the December 11th game against Miami. In the 10 games that she played, she was the leading scorer for Florida with 16 points a game. So this is the first time we've seen Correa after missing the last 7 games with a lower leg injury.
It's nice to see her on the floor, and I know Coach Finley's excited about it. She's had to move people around to adjust to a lot of injuries, and having Leilani back on the court really helps this Florida offense.
So here's a look at Correa's numbers on the year. Again, she played in 10 games early. She's missed the last 7, but when she did play, averaging 16 points a game, led the way. So I mean, really, Holly, because they have had to shift around Florida, what will this mean to have her back in the lineup?
Well, players can move back to their, quote, true positions. They've had to move players around. Four players had to play the 3 position, and so guards have had to become point guards. So they've had to move players around, and so with her back into the lineup, they can go to their true position.
We'll see how that impacts the game. Florida up 8-4 and ringing it up from long distance. What a stretch of games Maddie Shear is having right now.
We're shooting with a lot of confidence. I think games early, she was really struggling from the line because it was in her head. And shooters, you got to keep shooting. And Coach Elsie said, took her mind off of telling Maddie, hey, you worry about getting us into offense. Your offense is going to come. In the last 2 games, it's her offense has really connected.
Yeah, she scored 22 points against LSU and then 25 against the #1 team in the country, South Carolina. So she's reset her career high in each of the last 2 games. Benton gives it up underneath. Makes it tough inside, does Dute, but the score by Adiyeye.
Yeah, good little inside interior pass, high percentage shot, gets Kentucky tied with Florida.
So the first shot attempt by Correa is off the mark, but Kentucky, that's their first miss after making the last 3 in a row. They kick out. And no good. KK Dean's throwing it ahead. Ricard's there to gather it in, and she is fouled on the shot attempt.
Well, great up and down, and Kentucky gets a rebound, attacks the basket, and then Florida gets a rebound and attacks the basket. So you'll see here, gets a rebound, just a little run out by Ricards and a little shot fake. Wanted the and one, but will settle and go to the free throw line. And Brenda, this Florida team goes to the free throw line quite a bit.
Yes, they do. The first one is made by Ricards. Yeah, this Florida team, #2 in the SEC in free throws made per game, as they average over 16 made free throws a game. They attempt about 23 free throws per game.
And you get that by attacking the basket, and Florida is really good, athletic at getting to the paint and getting to the rim.
Now that's a stat we want to keep an eye on today, as Florida already 4 for 4 from the line, and that's a way they can take advantage for sometimes not being able to score in the half court. They score a lot in transition and a lot from the free throw line.
Solid
foul was
defense
called on. I'm sorry. I want to make sure the foul was called on Nia Leveretter.
Yeah, and just comes off of Florida steal, and just to frustration turned the ball over and then tried to get it back and just went into a Florida player.
So Florida started the game 3 for 3 from the floor going inside. They're 0 for their last 4 from the field. They've made 4 free throws, as we mentioned. Baseline jumper, Correa doesn't hit the mark, and it will be Kentucky basketball. Ball is picked up. That was close to a 5-second count, and too strong. Kennedy Cambridge into the game, a jump ball, and it will be possession arrow Kentucky when we come back. So leading the scorers for Florida are their interior players, Kyle and Dute, each have 4. They're on the bench right now for the Gators. Kentucky is led by Shear with 4 points in the early going. And Petty onto the court, Asia Petty missing that one, but such an important X factor for Kentucky this year.
Well, she is, and she's a great rebounder. She's solid inside and scores on the block, and Kentucky's trying to do what Florida has been doing, go inside and get some easy looks at the basket.
Well, Asia Petty picks up the foul on that drive, and yet another trip to the free throw line here early for Florida as Grimdahl goes to the line. Good talk.
And so, Brenda,
with
this gives them obviously a little rest because both teams are playing solid defense. And they're easy 2 points. Florida shoots the ball well from the free throw line, so Kentucky's got to really pay attention to this and make sure that they don't give those opportunities, those easy buckets to Florida.
Yeah, the last 6 points for Florida, all from the free throw line.
Great pressure, great ball pressure, great press by Florida, taking time off the clock.
Under 10 seconds on the shot clock, and a foul committed as Benton breaks to the ball. That's on KK Deans. That's her first foul.
Yeah, Deans can't do that. The shot clock's down to 9 seconds. You're playing great defense. Don't bail them out with a foul.
Shear picks up her dribble, gets it to Petty. Petty, one-on-one against Weish inside, too strong.
Well, solid defense by Weiss, going straight up and just made Petty adjust her shot.
And a whistle and a travel called on Florida. Kentucky has missed their last 5 shots in a row, Holly. What do they need to do to get into some kind of rhythm offensively?
Well, I like them going inside. Just got to settle down and make the shot. I mean, it looks like point blank range, so take the ball inside. They've struggled to score outside right now. Do what you're doing, just get someone in there that can finish the play.
Shear waiting for the screen. Pulls up. Too strong. And a whistle and a foul on the rebound as Florida has Jaya Kyle there for a strong rebound, but the foul called on Kentucky.
Well, I like the look. I like Shear taking the shot. Just didn't go down, but Florida's doing a great job of one and done. Kentucky's getting the shot, and then Florida's doing a good job of boxing out and getting the rebound.
She'll shoot 2.
And Florida is already in the bonus. All their other trips to the free throw line have been because they were fouled on drives to the basket and on the shot, but now Kyle goes to the line here with the Gators in the bonus. Shea Kyle, the transfer from Purdue. She only played 9 games last year at Purdue as she had a nagging injury that kept her off the court the rest of the year.
Well, just a great addition.
And misses the other.
Right, just a great addition, Brenda, to this team. 6'6", she brings size. She brings a maturity to this basketball team.
Yeah, they got the transfer, KK Deans from West Virginia, the transfer, Kyle from Purdue in their starting lineup. And throwing it right into traffic. Here's Kentucky off to the races. Kennedy Cambridge has it stripped away. It'll stay Kentucky basketball, but Cambridge went to the floor hard.
Yeah, she's a competitor. She's going to go. She has no fear. I mean, you look at, she gets the steal. She attacks. That kid is an energy player, and she's trying to get Kentucky a little pumped up right now. There you see. Here's
a look
the
at
steal.
it.
Yeah, she takes it. Goes coast to coast, just really attacks it and gets it blocked, but you know, goes in hard, determined to get to the basket.
On the inbounds play, Kentucky knocks it out of bounds, so it will be Florida basketball. Kyra Elsie's teams have 5 losses. They're 0-5 right now in SEC play, but 3 of those losses are to ranked teams. When Arkansas was ranked, LSU, and then South Carolina. Their other 2 losses are on the road. On the road at Missouri, they have a 3-point loss. On the road at Georgia, a 4-point loss. So they're just trying to find a way to get their first win. They've had a tough schedule to start SEC play.
Just it's a brutal schedule. You know, you play the already have played the 2 top teams in the SEC and lose a close one to Georgia, and then you go to Missouri, which is a tough place to play, and Arkansas at the time we've done Arkansas. They're an outstanding team too. So Kentucky's had to play some tough teams thus far in their season.
Offensive foul on Rimdahl, and that's now 4 turnovers in the last 7 possessions for Florida, so they haven't really been able to take advantage here of the Kentucky cold shooting. Kentucky shooting just 4 of 15 from the field so far. 27% haven't hit a 3-pointer yet.
And Kentucky's not taking advantage of their ability to defend and steal. They've got to convert those steals into points.
You can see the ticker on how long it's been since Kentucky has scored. In transition, Correa still hasn't been able to score in her first appearance since early in December, but Florida gets the offensive rebound. And Rimdahl all the way to the hoop. That's the first basket either team has made in quite a while.
Great hesitation. Great hesitation. Goes to the basket. We said in the opening, she's a 3-level shooter. She shoots the 3. She can pull up, but what does she do here? Drives to the rim. Never takes her eyes off the basket and finishes the play.
That makes a 7-0 run as Rimdahl will have a break here with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. Jada Walker goes to the free throw line as she was fouled by Correa. First points in well over 4 minutes for Kentucky. But with the 2 free throws, they're only down by 5. And the made free throws, Holly, allow Kentucky to set up in their full court pressure.
They want to use that press to take time off the clock, limit Florida from getting in their half-court offense.
And another foul on Kentucky, and the parade to the free throw line for Florida continues. This time, Leilani Correa will get a chance to make her first basket since playing on December 11th against Miami.
Well, Florida's being really smart. They're not settling for outside jumpers. They're taking the ball hard to the basket, and Kentucky's got to adjust. They're fouling on the drive and sending Florida to the line.
And the first basket by Leilani Correa since December 11th.
And Florida needed that. They need her in the game.
Eight seconds on the shot clock. Benton changing directions, high off the window, too strong. And Florida can take one last shot if they choose to, as the shot clock is shut off.
Really smart. Use the clock, get the last second shot.
Ricard's bucket. 8-point lead for Florida. A 10-2 run for Florida as we end the first quarter.
Yeah, and Florida's doing a great job of clicking on all cylinders. They're taking it to the basket and really doing ups. They've missed rebound putbacks. They've just got to find a way to settle in, settle down, keep doing what you're doing on the defensive end. They're playing solid. Stop fouling, but then relax and score the basketball. And you'll see Brendan now, Kentucky's changing the pace a little bit, goes into a zone, and what does Florida do? They hit a 3 by KK Deans.
And what an adjustment for Florida, or taking advantage of that, and they've extended the lead now to double digits. And stumbling through the lane, but aggressively attacking is Shear. And she is fouled and will go to the free throw line. Let's take a look at that last three.
Yeah, you see Kentucky dropped into a zone because they're worried about penetration, and KK Deans just nails a three. And that's a backbreaker when you change your defense and you want to make them score from the outside. KK Dean steps up and delivers.
So here's a way that Kentucky can put points on the board, getting to the free throw line. Maddie Shear, as we mentioned, is coming off back-to-back 20-point games. She has been stuffing the stat sheet. I love it when the media relations people for our schools give us kind of stats like this. She's the only player in the SEC that's averaging just under 10 points, but over 5 rebounds, over 5 assists, and over 2 steals per game, Maddie Shear.
Yeah, she's doing a lot for this team, and they want her to do well, and so she's having to produce in every situation.
But you can see after the 4 for 7 start, Kentucky 0 for their last 10 here on the road at Florida. KK Deans stepping back. A couple of three-pointers in the second quarter for Florida and KK Deans.
KK Deans says, I love this zone. I love playing against the zone. I can shoot the three. I'm wide open. I'm going to take it.
A 16-4 run for Florida. Kentucky has got to find a way to score, and instead they commit an offensive foul. Leveretter, an illegal screen.
And Deans was out. She wasn't even close to the arc, just set, and that's what shooters, look at her. Shooters do. They get set, she lets it fly.
She's the leading scorer on the year for Florida, averaging over 14 points a game, coming off a game against Georgia where she scored 21. And she hit 5 of 9 three-pointers in that game. So not unusual for the transfer from West Virginia. But, Holly, you and I saw her when she played at West Virginia, and she went down with that knee injury last year, about a year ago. It was January 29th in a game against Baylor, and it's so good to see her back full speed. There she is again.
Yeah.
Got it.
It is. I just am so happy for this young lady, and a great competitor, and just is really prepared. She prepares for every game just so hard, and it's exciting to see her out there.
And Kentucky finally with the score. Kennedy Cambridge spinning into the paint, and one opportunity as she drove in.
Yeah, Brenda, we talked about Cambridge. She's an energy player, and hopefully this will give Kentucky some energy. Has no fear. I mean, she's a little freshman. She didn't know she's supposed to be scared. She attacked the basket, made the layup.
Well, she's the younger sister of Jordan Cambridge, who has been very successful for Vanderbilt. Jordan is out with an injury right now for Vandy. They're going to be on SEC Network tomorrow night. Vandy at Arkansas. Steffi Sorensen and I will be on that game.
You're working overtime.
Looking forward to it. That's going to be fun. And how about KK Dean? She is unconscious right now.
Well, when you feel it, Brendan. She is feeling it.
All 4 shots of the quarter made by KK. Greensboro, North Carolina. Her season high is 28 points. She scored against Oklahoma earlier this year. She had 21 points against Georgia in their loss. This Florida team was up on Georgia here at home in their last game. They were up by 9 going into the fourth quarter and got outscored 34-20 in the fourth quarter. So they want to make sure they stretch out this lead if they can. Rickards commits the foul as Kentucky goes to the basket. Well, Tuesday night's college basketball doubleheader starts at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. But we're featuring the second game. Brandon Miller leads number 4 Alabama, who's won 6 straight against Liam Robbins and Vanderbilt, 8:30 Eastern, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Robyn Benton at the line for the Kentucky Wildcats, as they have got to find a way to get some scoring going here. 5 of 18 from the field. And now 6 of 7 from the free throw line.
And Robyn Benton's got to step up. I like seeing her. She attacked the basket with a layup, get a high percentage shot. She's got to pick her offensive game up, get opportunities.
Deans misses inside the three-point line. She needs to back up, back behind the line. She was too close to the basket.
Yeah, Deans, you've hit 4 for 4 from the three. Don't stay outside.
So the foul committed on Florida. Second foul called on Kyle, the 6'6" junior for Florida. Nice drive to the basket by Benton. Can't get it to go, gets her own rebound. Shear hesitates. Boy, collision, no call. And Walker misses from three. Kentucky has not hit a three-pointer yet in this game.
Well, a couple of really solid looks, Brendan, at the basket and offensive rebound, and then took that three. Open, good three. It was open. Kentucky's got to find a way to put the ball in the basket.
Now, Kentucky's been shooting from three-point range fairly well. They've made 6 three-pointers in 4 of their last 5 SEC games, but haven't connected on one today. Walker pushing ahead to Cambridge. Shear open for 3, still can't connect on the three-point range.
Well, nice defense by Kentucky on the other end, and coming down. And Shear had a great look, and then you see her penetrating to the basket, and that's Kentucky you need to see. Solid defense and come down and make some shots.
8 points now for Maddie Shear.
And you see they're trying to face guard KK Deans. They're trying not to let her touch the basketball. You got a freshman guarding a experienced guard, and a great steal.
Jada Walker, number 1 in the SEC in steals per game, rips it away but doesn't finish the layup. Bodies on the floor, a tie-up, and it'll be possession Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, Brenda, correction.
Shear.
Walker on the ball was on the ball. Great hands, great defender on KK Deans, and she's got to try to limit KK Deans' touches.
Maddie Shear was a little slow getting up, but she seems okay. She's defended by freshman Micah Perry right now.
Great hands.
And Micah Perry stripped the ball away. The 6'1" freshman out of Norman, Oklahoma, just took the ball right away from Maddie Shear.
Just solid defense. Just stay between her and the basket and used her hands. Didn't foul. Got a quality steal.
Leilani Correa has checked back in for Florida. She's back on the court. There she is.
And Brenda, you see Kentucky gets her hands on a lot of balls, and that's really disruptive at times when it disrupts your offense, it disrupts your flow, and it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it's huge for the defense.
That ball gets away from Kennedy Cambridge, and Kyra Elsie said, slow down, take care of the basketball, take advantage of those opportunities.
And they're solid on the defensive end. Just got to, again, like you said, take advantage of how hard they're working on this defensive end.
The Cards with the basketball out top. Dute commits an offensive foul.
Yeah, it's dangerous to have Dute outside and probably playing a little bit out of position, and she's outside. She tried to shoot 3 earlier, didn't do it, so she puts it down, and Kentucky's just waiting on her. Solid defense and at the right place at the right time.
Fifth team foul of the quarter as Dute will take a seat on the court now. The Weish twins, along with Rimdahl, Ricards, and Correa. Walker able to get that one to roll in. It's a 10-point ball game.
And Kentucky's chipping away, and they're doing it starting with their defense. Florida hadn't scored in a while. They've turned it over, so Kentucky doing what they do.
Rimdahl. And Weish commits the foul going for the rebound. So Kentucky's got a little life here, a little momentum, as you mentioned, Holly, using their defense to create some offense.
And just attacks the basket, and then that's the thing. They got to take advantage. They got to see the ball into her hands. They can't turn it over like that. Florida hadn't scored since the 8-minute mark, so Kentucky's doing a great job of disrupting. And now let's see what how they're gonna handle it on the offensive end.
So Florida got those 4 3-pointers from KK Deans and haven't scored since. Kentucky on a 6-0 run. Adeyeye at the free throw line makes the second of 2.
Checking in for the Wildcats, number 13, Asia Petty.
And Asia Petty checking into the game to replace Adeyeye. One thing, Holly, you mentioned in the first quarter, Kentucky was fouling too much, sending this Florida team to the line. Florida has not been to the line here in the second quarter.
Well, and their zone helped, and also their help side. They're really keeping the ball in front of them. Right there, Florida got a penetration to the basket, but Kentucky's being more disciplined on the defensive end.
Correa made the basket on the other end. That's her first field goal since coming back to the lineup. Again, she's back after missing 7 games. Leilani Correa. Jada Walker, a little circus shot underneath, doesn't go in. And we're under 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. Rimdahl goes off her own leg. It will be Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, both teams are struggling a little bit, and this is Florida's first bucket in a while, and they do it by attacking a high percentage shot, getting to the rim.
It's the first basket for Florida in a while, but the first basket for Correa in a long time, as she made a free throw earlier, but has missed the last 7 games. For people just tuning in, Leilani Correa was the leading scorer for Florida early in the season through the first 10 games of the year. She missed 7 games with an injury, but she is back today. She's got 3 points. Florida having their lead chipped into now by Kentucky. It's a single-digit lead for Florida for the first time in a while.
A tough shot by Robyn Benton. That's a good look for her. She's Kentucky's leading scorer. She's got to get more shots off.
She's got 6 points so far. Shear has 8 for Kentucky. There's Shear going to work. And she was expecting Blair Green to drop down to the baseline, and they just misconnected.
Yeah, and Blair Green's she's got to get down to the baseline. She's got to get him an open lane for Shear to throw the basketball to.
So KK Deans has checked back into the game. She made those 4 3-pointers to start the second quarter for the Florida offense. Ball knocked away by Robyn Benton, and she commits the foul.
Yeah,
her
and
second.
when Kentucky's denying, Brenda, what do? You go back door, and that's what Florida did. Hard denial at the elbow, and the pass was a little too late, but it was a good look, solid look, good hard cut to the basket.
Robyn Benton goes to the bench with the 2 fouls. Asia Petty saves it under the Florida basket, gives Florida an extra chance. And a foul going to be called. This will send Maddie Shear to the free throw line as Kentucky is in the bonus.
And Florida's got to be a lot more disciplined on the rebound, and you know, if you don't have it secure, you just can't that's just a foul that can't happen, and it sends a really solid free throw shooter to the line and Shear.
And Maddie Shear, an 87% free throw shooter. She makes the first. Well, Thursday night, women's basketball doubleheader is highlighted by the top teams in the conference. Aaliyah Boston and #1 South Carolina are in Nashville to take on Vandy at 7 Eastern. Then Angel Reese and #5 LSU take on Arkansas at the Maravich Center. Should be another great night of hoops right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Yeah, Angel Reese, what an unbelievable player. She's doing so well for LSU, and she's fun to watch.
Yeah, looking forward to Thursday night on the SEC Network. So Maddie Shear misses the 3. Kentucky is 0 for 6 from 3.
Because KK Dean's kind of went into her path, and with Cambridge, and I don't know if it was intentional. She was just kind of pivoting to throw out. So that's a tough call, but that's a rule, and we want to protect players, and so that's what that foul's in place for.
Okay, so they had Asia Petty shoot the free throw to finish her part of the play. They send KK Deans to the free throw line, and because it was declared an intentional foul, she gets 2 free throws and possession for Florida.
Yeah.
Substitution for Kentucky, number 34, Emma King.
So Emma King will make her first appearance in the game for Kentucky. And right there, Rickards recognizes and goes by King for the layup. So after Kentucky had that 13-2 run, now the free throw from KK Deans and the layup extends the lead to 8 points for Florida. And is knocked away.
Hands. Yeah, great hands, and Kentucky gets it back with great defense. And we talked about how good these two teams are defensively, and they're showing it right now.
And Florida gets it back. So both teams exchanging possessions here with good defensive play, and KK Deans puts the ball on the floor and draws a foul.
Kentucky foul number 34, Emma King.
And KK Deans will go to the free throw line, the foul on Emma King.
Well, again, a steal, and then a turnover, and then a turnover, and then a turnover again. So it's how this game's going to go, because both teams just rely on their defense so much, and it's stingy, and it's tough, and it's smothering, and you're going to see this many up and down and change of possessions because of the defensive play by both teams.
Well, tonight, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the college football playoff national championship game between Georgia and TCU at 9 Eastern. Then it's a look at the Kentucky women's basketball team, and at 10, the South Carolina men's team. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches, a real behind-the-scenes look right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. And when they do that inside look at the Kentucky women's program, we did hear that Ira Elzy with her team, since they are 0-5 in SEC play, she took them to a facility where they could take out their aggressions and break some things and just get rid of some of the pent-up frustrations. And I know our SEC Inside group, it was there with them. That might be fun to watch how they handled that.
Yeah, they took them to the rage room, and they could take their anger out on TVs and printers. They just got to smash everything in sight, and so just trying to change their mojo.
Blair Green hits the first 3 of the game for Kentucky, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point ball game.
Yeah.
Florida led by as many as 16 points. They got off to a hot start here in the second quarter with the 4 3-pointers made by KK Deans. But Kentucky has whittled the lead down. Florida gets an offensive rebound there for a chance to extend this lead before halftime.
And Florida could really take advantage of some mismatches right now.
Ricards misses, but it will stay on this end as it gets away from Asia Petty. So Florida's had this will be their third opportunity to score, and now the shot clock is off.
And Florida's big. They got to take advantage of the size. They are keeping the ball alive and getting extra points and extra opportunities.
Dute is tied up.
Yeah.
It's a jump ball, and it will stay, though, Florida possession with 15.7 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, you got to throw it up to Dute. She's 6'4". Throw it up, make her get it. Go get it.
Under 10 seconds remaining in the half. KK Dean's going to work. Good defense from Kentucky, and Jada Walker heaves it over the backboard, but a good defensive stand for Kentucky to end the quarter.
Yeah, great stands. Jada Walker was throwing a touchdown pass, but it was solid defense and didn't allow Florida to get a shot off.
This Florida team led by as many as 16, but a 16-6 run for Kentucky brought them back. Here's a look at the stats, Holly.
Yeah, and Kentucky had a slow start, but they kept their defensive intensity up, and they got layups. And then you turn around in Florida, KK Dean's got them going with her three-point shooting ability.
Kentucky's leading scorers on the screen. Shear with 10 points leading the way. KK Deans leads the way with the 14 for Florida. Kentucky with the first possession of the third quarter. A foul on Ricards. And Kentucky will inbound it. That's the second foul for Ricards. Kentucky is looking for their first SEC win of the year. They're 0-5 in SEC play. Florida is looking for their first SEC win at home, as their only victory so far was on the road at Texas A&M.
And smart play right there. Kentucky trying to establish an inside game, trying to get an easy look, and then what do? Kentucky's defense is just so solid. Just a lot of hands on the ball, and Maddie goes to the basket, and Kentucky, what they've struggled from the outside, they've really, the last quarter and starting this quarter, getting to the free throw line.
Kentucky last year won the SEC tournament, upsetting South Carolina. What a run for Kyra Elsie's team through the tournament to win last year. They've been to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, and 10 newcomers this year for Kentucky. We talked to Kyra about, okay, did you remind your team that last year when Florida came to Kentucky, you were ranked 23rd and Florida got the victory? She said, I can't even tell this team what happened last year because I've got 10 new players.
10 new players, 6 freshmen, 4 transfers. That's crazy. And I'd be pulling my hair out.
They're trying to put it all together, but it has been rough going for Kyra Elsie. She said, we've got to bring the sunshine in. We've got to find a way to look at the positive side. She said, we're getting better. We're coming together. You're just not seeing it in the wins column yet.
Well, and Brittany, you got to focus on the positive. You got to give your team confidence, and this team is yes, they're getting beat, but they're sticking together and they're playing hard together, and they're battling, and so they're not giving up. And as a coach, you love that. Do you want wins? Absolutely. But you want your team to keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and that's what Coach Elsie says her team does.
Florida has been faced with their own adversity. On the other end, Ricards makes the layup as they have a 6-point lead. But this Florida team has had to shift a lot of what they were expecting to do this season. They were preparing for certain roles, and then Zippy Broughton was out with an injury before the season ever started. Then after that, they had the situation where Jordan Merritt was out for personal reasons as Kentucky scores there. And then you had the injury to Correa. There's Jordan Merritt out for personal reasons. Not sure when she's going to be back, but she is dressed today. And then Correa comes back after being gone 7 games. So a lot of adversity for Florida to battle through as well.
Well, Brenda, injuries change really the complexity of your team. Roles change. Players have to play different positions. And so you go into a season wanting to do one thing, and then you have to adjust. And that's, hey, as Coach Finley says, that's part of basketball, and that's the adjustment that teams have to make throughout the season.
Bodies on the floor. Kentucky tries to knock the ball away, but it is tied up. It will be possession arrow Florida. Here's what they're missing with Jordan Merritt out.
Yeah, I mean, you rely on those points and those rebounds, and it's just hard. You've got to have people fill in that gap and where she plays and the rebounds and those type of things and the points. They got to find 10 points from somebody.
Kentucky basketball on the possession arrow. Blair Green, who's made the only three-pointer of the day for Kentucky, dribbles in for a jumper.
Well, it's good to see Blair Green getting going. She is probably their most consistent three-point player, and she's a 3-level scorer, and it's good to see her attacking the basket and scoring for Kentucky.
This is the closest Kentucky has been since it was tied 8-8 early. That's when Florida went on their run. A whistle and a foul. Let's take a look back at that last Kentucky basket.
Yeah, Blair Green gives a little shot fake because they're kind of run her off the line. Well, they do run her off the line, and she hits that mid-range jumper, and that's tough to guard. When you're guarding a three-point player and they have the ability to score inside, it's a tough defend.
Cambridge, Kennedy Cambridge, the younger sister of Jordan Cambridge that plays at Vanderbilt, picked up the foul. It's her 3rd foul. It's sending Shea Kyle, the transfer from Purdue, to the free throw line.
And Florida right now is really attacking the basket and doing a great job. They're either scoring or getting fouled and going to the free throw line right now.
Shea Kyle, a 68% free throw shooter on the year. She scored double-figure points in 7 of the last 8 games for Florida. She's got 6 now. And a foul called on Blair Green.
Yeah, you can't hold blocking out.
Here's a breakdown of Kyra Elzy's squad. We mentioned 10 newcomers, 5 returners. And as you break down that roster, 3 grad students, and you just saw all the way down to 6 freshmen on this team.
Yeah, and that's tough. It's tough. You're coming off an SEC tournament championship, and you lose Ryan Howard, who's arguably to be one of the best players in the country, and now is playing at the pro level, and so you have to replace a lot of points and a lot of people. So and had some transfers leave, so it's a building year for Kentucky.
Top of the key, short. Kentucky with an opportunity to chip into this lead. They have not led in this entire game. And a great move to the rim for Robyn Benton.
Smart move, really smooth attack to the basket.
KK Dean steps back. She had made 4 for 4 from three-point range at the beginning of the second quarter. That's her first three-point attempt since then. Benton, short, but Shear tracks it down. Green at the top of the key. And then a travel on KK Deans, who falls to the floor with it. So Kentucky will have another possession.
Well, Kentucky's just they're getting hustle plays. I mean, you come in and give a little shot fake here, and what do you do? There's no help side D, and Benton goes in for an easy look.
Kentucky has whittled it down to a 3-point deficit. Florida has led throughout, except for that 8-8 tie earlier. There were actually 2 ties in the early moments of the game, but Kentucky, has never led in this ball game.
Well, Kentucky's right now just outworking Florida. They're getting to every loose ball. They're getting extra shots with offensive rebounds, and they're taking quality shots. So Florida's got to settle down, get back into their game plan, take care of the ball, rebound, and run.
Claire Green picks it up in the paint. They reset. Shear bullets it to Adeyeye, who thought Shear was probably going to go up with the shot.
Yeah, Shear's got to go up with that shot because Addie was just trying to get an offensive rebound if Shear missed it. So
just the first turnover of the quarter, though, for Kentucky.
Boy, Kentucky's got Florida a little flustered. They're getting their hands on the ball. They're playing fast, and
Micah Perry drains one from the top of the key. When you're needing a boost, that's a good one.
Yeah, that'll settle you down right there. 3-point shot.
5 for 10 from 3-point range. The other 4 have been made by KK Deans. Kentucky, though, just 1 for 11 from distance. Adeyeye can't corral it. It will be possession arrow in favor of Florida when we come back.
Yeah, and Perry, she says, you know what? KK Deans, I can shoot a 3 as well. Playing really well right now, and then you see Ole Miss up, and then Tennessee got a good win against Georgia today, and not surprised at the top standings, and then we have a battle here of trying to move up, and this is just Brittany, we've talked about this. SEC conference is just hard. It's just difficult. It's hard to win. Every night, whoever you play is you can't overlook a team. So every night's a battle in the SEC.
And Kentucky is battling to get back in this game. Robyn Benton now has double figures. She joins Shear with double figures for Kentucky. They've been playing from behind all game, but they are within striking distance.
Yes, they are, and they're doing it with their defense. They're making Florida earn every bucket they get.
Shea Kyle with the miss in the paint. Here comes Kentucky. Jada Walker tries to slip it through, and it's last touch by Florida.
I like Florida's game plan of going inside. They're just not finishing, but they're getting good looks when they can take care of the basketball. Kentucky's making them turn it over and play fast right now.
Cards back into the game for Florida. Missed shot from the corner. Here comes KK Deans in traffic behind her back. Little up and under. What a finish for KK Deans.
Love it. I love when you rebound and run and you attack the basket and score. Great play by KK Deans.
Let's see her numbers. 16 points. She's 5 of 10. Already has collected 7 rebounds. A whistle and a foul will give it back to Florida. Let's look back at what KK Deans did.
Yeah, just a run out. Goes behind her back and attacks the basket. I love it. She's just really powerful. She shoots she's so difficult because, again, shoots the 3, handles the ball, attacks the basket.
So it was a turnover by Shear for Kentucky. They've gotten to within 3. That's the closest they've gotten here in the third quarter. It was 41-38. Correa loses the basketball in traffic.
And Correa she's got to get her timing back. Just handling the ball looked like it was really difficult right there.
Floater off the window by Walker.
What's the toughest shot in basketball is the floater, and that looked easy. I think she did that with her left hand, Brenda.
It was a beautiful shot by Walker. Watch as she drives the baseline.
Yeah, a little shot fake and little lefty, little off the glass. That's tough. I like that, Walker.
He is #1 in the SEC in steals per game. She's led the team in scoring 5 times this year, coming off a game where she had 17 points against South Carolina. The lefty from Richmond, Virginia, just a sophomore, Jada Walker. Robyn Benton spinning, draws the foul on Micah Perry, and Robyn Benton will go to the line.
Yeah, just really smart play and attacking the basket. If Florida's going to foul on the drive, then Kentucky needs to just keep attacking the basket.
At the line for the Wildcats, #1, Robyn Benton. She'll shoot 2.
The foul on the shot will send Benton to the line. It's the 4th team foul of the quarter for Florida. Well, Tuesday night's college basketball doubleheader starts at 6:30 Eastern. We're featuring the second game. Brandon Miller leads #4 Alabama, who's won 6 straight against Liam Robbins and Vanderbilt. 8:30 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Made both free throws. This is the closest that Kentucky has been in the second half, really since back to when the game was tied at 8-8 in the first quarter. The story for today is Florida has gotten Leilani Correa back after an absence of 7 games. It's been taken a little bit for her to get into a rhythm. KK Deans is leading the way, though, with 16 points. Ricards with 10 for Florida. But Correa going to the free throw line here to try to extend this lead.
She'll shoot 2.
Just great effort. Keeping the ball alive, pursuing the basketball on the offensive end. Gets a foul on the rebound.
Correa, in the first 10 games of the year before she was out with the injury, shot 72% from the free throw line. She's 1 of 3 so far today, 2 for 4. And Correa now with 4 points. Quickly up the court, Kentucky gets, really gave, the Gators were sleeping a little bit, and Walker scores it.
Well, you heard the horn go off. I don't know if Kentucky just, Florida just stopped.
And Kentucky unable to get their first lead. The offensive rebound, Benton misses. And 2 shots for Kentucky to try to take the lead, and they missed both. And a timeout, Florida. But Kyra Elzy is fired up about the way her team is playing right now. The Gators still holding on to the lead, but it's just one. But here's that horn that was blown earlier, Holly. Take a listen.
Yeah, I just think it, it froze Florida. You see Weiss say, what was that? A lot of confusion. A horn blows and they stopped. And as coaches, you say play through the horn, but that really did affect Florida and what they did.
Florida basketball.
And really, as we listen back, the horn blew after Kentucky had inbounded the ball, so they alertly just went with it.
Right. Well, you see the official down in the corner just playing on, and some of Florida's players did not play on.
Shot clock winding down for the Gators. Ricards, bottled up by Benton, goes to the rim. She's able to score at the shot clock buzzer. What a shot!
Nice attack. I like Ricards. That's what Florida needs to do right now. They're struggling outside. Attack the basket. Great drive by Ricards.
Kentucky has gotten back into this game without shooting well from three-point range. Now they're 1 for 12. And then a foul called on Adeyeye on the rebound. Let's take a look back, though, as Florida beat the shot clock buzzer.
Yeah, you got to love it. You don't just throw it up. She got a quality shot and attacked the basket for a great look at the basket with the layup.
That's a great point, Holly. She didn't panic.
No.
It was she's a senior. She realized she had time to get to the rim. There were 4, 5, 4, 3. It was counting down. She got the best available shot.
Absolutely. You practice that, Brenda. You practice that as a staff and as players. You see how long it takes you to get from one end to the court to the other, and you see how long it takes you to get to the basket in the half-court situation. She got there in, 2 seconds easily to the basket.
So the foul on the other end on the rebound was called on Adeyeye. It sends Talia Weish to the free throw line. She misses both free throws. Jada Walker, pick and roll, sets up Adeyeye. It's a 1-point ball game.
Yeah. That's just textbook, makes it simple, screen and roll, and the post player. Great pass going under the defense.
Kentucky has the edge and points in the paint, and it's stripped away from Shear. Will they call that on the shot or on the floor?
Yeah, I don't.
So it's the first foul of the quarter regardless, so there will be free throws as KK Deans picks up her second foul. She'll go to the bench. Rimdahl in.
So
here's the opportunity, Holly.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. This is the first tie for Kentucky since it was 8-8 in the first quarter. Kentucky has the chance for their first lead of the game, and they get it with that free throw.
Yeah, just with their defense is just ramped up. They're really affecting Florida in the half-court game, and they're taking good shots, quality shots towards the basket.
Ricards, who hit that shot before the shot clock buzzer earlier, misses that one. Jada Walker pushing all the way. No. Adeyeye with the rebound. A couple of defenders right there, and it will stay Kentucky basketball.
And Florida doesn't need to panic. I mean, there's another quarter left here. Florida's doing some good things. Just get your defense back in check. Keep Kentucky in front of you. Make them make plays over you.
Foul away from the ball. Holly, it's going to be really interesting to see how both these teams handle the fourth quarter. The fourth foul called there on Rimdahl, because neither team played very well in the fourth quarter in their last game. Kentucky let things get away with South Carolina. That's understandable. Florida was ahead of Georgia by 9 and let that one get away for the loss. So these two teams that want to get this win today, this last 10-plus minutes of the game, so important.
Yes, it is, and it's who has the composure, who's going to stick to the game plan, and really pay attention to the free throw shooting right now, because Florida's really gone cold. They're 12 for 20, and Kentucky's getting to the line now, 16 for 20.
You can see the numbers in that game against South Carolina. 8 turnovers for Kentucky in the fourth quarter.
There's the mismatch you got to go to.
There's Faith Dute inside. You were talking at the break that Florida should get the ball inside to Dute.
Yeah, it's just that Florida's tall right now, athletic, and offensively they need to take advantage of it. Now Dute's having to guard a guard out against for Blair Green out away from the basket, but Florida needs to take advantage of the height difference.
Clock is winding down in the third quarter. The floater, got it! What a shot from Shear to give Kentucky the 2-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Kentucky's come all the way back from down 16 to take the lead going into the final stanza.
Yeah, you see Shear.
3 games, she scored 22 against LSU. Then she scored 25 against South Carolina. And she's got 18 going into the fourth quarter today. Kentucky down by as many as 16 points, have taken the lead. They lead 53-51 as we start the fourth quarter. Jada Walker, that's the one area of this game though. Kentucky 1 for 13 from 3-point range. And Correa with the jumper.
Yeah, and you see, Brenda, that Florida went back into a 2-3 zone trying to change the momentum of Kentucky because they're scoring inside, forcing Kentucky to try to score from the outside.
Benton rips the ball away from the Gators, knocks it in, and will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, that was a great, that's just showing your strength. She gets an offensive rebound, and the kid she throws it up, gets an and one, gets her fired up, gets the team fired up, gets Coach Elsie fired up. Everybody's ready.
Robyn Benton with 14 points, now 15 to give Kentucky their biggest lead of the afternoon here in Gainesville. Ricard's trying to settle things down for the Gators. And a push off by Correa.
Yeah, Correa just settled down. Yeah, just fumbled the ball. She fumbled the ball, and defense went up on her, and yeah, she wanted space, and that's not how you create it.
Kentucky with an opportunity to build on their lead. You mentioned Florida had a 9-point lead over Georgia here at home against Georgia here at home and let that one get away. Right now, Kentucky has come back. They've got the lead. They get a steal. Benton scores, and she'll go to the line again.
Yeah, this is just, it's all created, Brendan, from their defense, and they're attacking the basket right then. A steal and another and one. Just total focus on Kentucky's part. There you'll see Florida's in a zone. They hit the little high post jumper, and then there's the steal from the defense, and there's another and one. Florida's got to get their composure back as Kentucky is on a roll.
You can see Benton, and she completes the three-point play. She's got 18 to match Maddie Shear's 18, and the steal number for Kentucky, Florida she surpassed 1,000 points for her career against Georgia on January 5th, and she's got 18 today. And an opportunity.
Good move, just to turn around. Gets an and one. Now they got to capitalize and make their free throws. They've really struggled a little bit the last couple of times at the line.
But she doesn't there, as Kyle, a 68% free throw shooter, finishes that three-point play. She's got 8 points, nine now with the free throw. And that ends an 8-0 run for Kentucky. Jada Walker somehow keeps her balance and scores.
Yeah, Kentucky, they're just putting their head down and going to the basket. Florida's got to figure out how they're going to stop the attack to the basket.
Ricard's answers on the other end.
Everybody's into the action.
All that defense we had early in the game, now we're going to see a little more offense. Benton misses that one. It's deflected. The deflection by Shear gives Kentucky another possession. Shear, no. And the three-point woes continue for Kentucky, 1 of 14 from distance. Ricard's. And a travel.
Probably
by Leveretter.
Yeah, a little bit of a quick shot when you're struggling from the outside, and attack the basket, pull it back, attack the basket. And although Ricard's, she's feeling it, she let it fly.
Jariah Warren, number 20, the 6-foot sophomore, into the game for Florida. Kyle kicks it out to Deans. Deans, who hit those 4 three-pointers in a row in the second quarter, hasn't made another one since.
Well, Kentucky's done a good job of adjusting on her, and they're trying to run her off the three-point line and make her make plays out inside the arc.
Benton pulls it back out. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Benton all the way to the left side.
Yeah, Benton's putting on a show right now.
20 points for the grad student who graduated last spring. with a broadcast journalism degree. Kyle is fouled by Leveretter, but let's take a look back at Robyn Benton's drive.
Yeah, and she's just a little hesitation, goes right and driving right down the middle of the lane. And when you drive the middle of the lane, there's no help. So that is one-on-one defense, and she is taking it hard to the basket.
So the fourth foul on Leveretter. Kyle misses that free throw. Kyle started strong in this game, scoring a couple of baskets in the paint, and now she's got double figures, 10 points and 6 rebounds for the 6'6" junior out of Marion, Indiana. She will take a seat. And a timeout called by Kyra Elzy. Kentucky with the 6-point lead. If you're just joining us, Coach Finley looking for her first home SEC victory, as their only win in SEC play is on the road at Texas A&M.
Yeah, these are two intense coaches who are trying to grind it out and look for a win, and very important for both these teams.
A foul on the rebound. Warren, who we mentioned is into the game, was fouled by Kentucky. Blair Green, picked up her second foul, and Kyle checks back in for Florida, replacing Weish. A little too tall for Kyle, but Ricards was right there to grab it, save the possession.
Saved it, you're right.
Ricards from the top of the key, wide left. And another foul called on Blair Green, trying to block out the 6'6" junior Shea Kyle inside.
We'll see. Yeah, it's a battle, and I keep talking about a mismatch, and that's a mismatch inside, and Florida needs to try to keep taking advantage of that.
And another foul on Kentucky. This is a problem, Holly, because that's the 5th team foul of the quarter. So every foul for Kentucky from here on out sends Florida to the free throw line.
Well, it is, but Florida's got to hit their free throws. They're only shooting 61%, and yeah, they need to take advantage of it, but they need to make sure that they make these free throws.
Florida just 4 for 9 at the line this half. To get one from Kyle there. Kyle came off the bench her freshman year at Purdue. Averaged about 5 points a game last year. She played in just 9 games and had a nagging injury. So, fresh start here at Florida in her career.
And she's done a good job right now, but she's got to really find a way to score from the free throw line.
Blair Green commits to travel. Kyra Elzy saying, be smart.
She understands that. Don't. You're stopping when you foul. You're giving them two free throws, and then you're stopping the game. You're stopping the clock, which is the clock needs to run. It needs to be in Kentucky's advantage with the clock running.
Florida throws it away. Kyra Elzy played for you at Tennessee. She coached with you as well. Trying to establish herself here in her 3rd season, taking over for Matthew Mitchell at Kentucky. They've gone to the NCAA tournament the last couple of years. We've mentioned today 10 newcomers on this roster as they try to get everybody on the same page here in SEC play, looking for their first conference win of the year.
Right, and Kyra knows how to win, and she won as a player, and she's won as a coach, and you know, they've struggled early, but she hasn't given up on this team because she knows what it takes, and they play hard. They play with a lot of passion, a lot of heart.
Big three-pointer on the other end for Benton. Just the second three-pointer of the game replaces her.
This is where Florida's got. This is where they're going to close the gap. Is at the free throw line.
If they make them.
Yeah, I hope I'm not jinxing them.
I mean, Ricards is an 80% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
She made her first two. Now she misses her second two, but Weish there for the rebound. Ricards all by herself.
Yeah.
An offensive foul on Cambridge.
Smart look. Cambridge had a good look. You just gotta go up. You gotta go straight up. Yeah, good defense, good weak side help by KK Deans.
Kentucky has outscored Florida 15-9 here in the fourth quarter. There's still a lot of time, Holly. What does Florida need to do?
Well, I think attack the basket because you can get to the free throw line, go inside, get a high percentage shot. You're not scoring well from the outside, take the ball inside.
And that's exactly what they do. Is Kyle back into the game now. She's got 13 points. Kentucky really hasn't been able to stop her inside.
No, and that's what they need to do now. The defensive end, you got to control, especially Benton. I mean, she's there. Yeah, she's really feeling really confident right now. So you've got to find somebody that can stop her.
Benton with 25 points. She's got the nice block out, and Shear comes down with it.
Yeah, that's not the shot Florida needs. Kyle needs to get inside and
Robyn Benton has scored 13 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's been fantastic.
She back irons that one. KK Deans to Ricards. Ricards off the window. So just what you said, Holly. They go inside on the last possession to Kyle.
For her to keep this momentum going. Florida's got to find somehow a way to obviously limit Benton's touches.
Shear can't corral the basketball and falls down with it and turns it over.
Just got her feet a little tangled up.
Shea Kyle back into the ball game. Florida down 6 with 3:15 remaining in the game.
And Kentucky's going to make Florida earn every point they've got left in this fourth quarter. Their defense is just still, look at the pressure on the ball.
They go back inside to Kyle. She goes with her left hand this time. Short, nice rebound by Warren, and it's now a 4-point game.
Yeah, pounded inside.
The steal for Florida.
Yeah, got away with that one.
Ricards on the right side, scores, and she'll go to the free throw line. Yeah. That's the 5th foul on Kennedy Cambridge. She will go to the bench with 2 points on the game and a rebound to her credit. And Ricards now with a chance to make this a 1-point ball game. And it's short.
Wow.
And the official motioning that she was still dribbling the ball, so it wasn't a travel as she fell to the floor. Jada Walker all the way to the rim.
Yeah, Kentucky just keep attacking the basket. Florida's got to figure out a way to keep their player in front of them.
Ricards again. What a game this has turned into, and a nice pass to set up Jada Walker. Walker now with 17 for Kentucky, and right back Ricard. She's missed the last couple of layups, though.
Wow. I mean,
cashed in on them today.
Yeah, that's been the difference for Kentucky today. They turn you over, but in the past they haven't been able to capitalize on it. They are capitalizing on their turnovers today. Or getting
under 2 minutes remaining. Kentucky trying to win their first game in conference play. They've lost to 3 ranked teams in Arkansas, LSU, South Carolina. Their other 2 losses are on the road, close games. 3-point loss to Missouri, a 4-point loss at Georgia. Can they finally break through and get their victory today at Florida?
Yeah, so they're spreading the floor, and they get a big block from Warren.
From the baseline, Shear, no. And then a foul called. Looks like it's on Florida. So the foul on Warren doesn't send Kentucky to the free throw line, though. The next team foul will.
Kentucky's just going to spread the floor out and just wait till the clock runs down and get a last-second shot in the shot clock.
Spinning around, somehow Walker able to put it in with her offhand to extend the lead to 8.
Walker's hit some big buckets.
He sure has. 19 points now for Walker. How about that shot from KK Deans? 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, you expect that from KK Deans.
Kentucky with a 5-point lead. What does Florida do here defensively?
Well, they got to force a bad shot, but Kentucky's going to use the shot clock right here.
Shear forces it up, and Warren there with the rebound. Florida has a chance.
They got to score quick.
KK Deans just hit that 3-pointer. She forces up another one. And a tip in by Warren.
Try to get a steal here on the inbound play.
The ball is in the hands of Benton. She's directing traffic. Time is running down, but she gets it in. Almost stolen away. And then a foul called. I believe Benton and Walker have 14 of the 18 Kentucky field goals here in the fourth quarter. 34 combined points for them. And Benton makes this a 2-possession ball game.
Okay.
Benton looking right at us.
She heard you say that. Got it. She thought you were waving your hands, Brenda Ferdinand. Yeah, she's She's money at that free throw line.
There was no problem with that. Ricards has it blocked. Dean saves it.
And got to score
Goes
quick.
into the paint. Got it. 7.9 seconds remaining. And a timeout for Kentucky. The 64% free throw shooter. So 8 seconds remaining. Florida has a timeout left. This time Shear going to trigger it in. Right to Benton, and Kentucky does the right thing to get Benton the basketball again.
Absolutely. You just got to try to prevent her from getting the ball, because once she gets it, you foul. I mean, she's 8 for 8 for the free throw line today. So
she's an 80% free throw shooter on the year. She's made all 8 today. She's leading the way with 27 points. What an incredible fourth quarter she has had, bringing Kentucky from behind to take the lead in this game.
There you go. Still talking to us. Hey, if I'm got 28 points, I think I'd be talking 29 points. I'd be talking to.
Florida still with a 5-point deficit. Holly, what do we got here going?
And you got to score. You got to score real quick. Not a lot of time needs to go off the clock.
They get it into Kyle. They kick it out to Deans. Deans too strong. And a foul committed by Ricards.
This game, it all started with their defense. Their defense created havoc. They turned they turned Florida over. They made them play fast. They made them shoot poor shots with defense over them. I mean, they created points off their defense, and that's how Kentucky got this game going. And then it just snowballed from there.
First point of the fourth quarter, not by Robyn Benton or Jada Walker. And